So, welcome to the first video in a 5-video series on naming compounds. We're going to name ionic compounds, we're going to name ionic compounds with transition metals, we're going to name ionic compounds with polyatomic ions, we're also going to name molecular compounds. And at the end, on video 5, there will end up being a list of compounds with different names and you can practice your skills. So on this video, we're going to name ionic compounds with metals having a constant charge. As we learned, there are a couple metals that have a specific charge all the time. So group 1 is the alkali metals, and they have a charge of +1. Group 2 has a charge of +2, and aluminum has a charge of +3 all the time, zinc has a charge of 2+ all the time, and silver has a charge of +1 all the time. So that's going to be the first thing that you're going to do when you're looking at naming compounds, is you need to figure out if they are in group 1, group 2, or are aluminum, zinc, or silver. So the first thing we're going to start with is writing formulas from names. So using the name, determine the charges on each of the ions and write the formula based on the balancing the charges of the ions. So we're going to start with a really easy example. The first one is sodium chloride. Sodium is Na coming from group 1 with a charge of +1. Chloride is Cl coming from group 7 with a charge of -1. Since there's a +1 and a -1, the charges cancel, and we end up with NaCl, which we all pretty much commonly know as salt. So let's try a couple examples. So potassium is coming also from group 1, so this is going to be K+1. Fluoride is coming from group 7 as F, and it's -1. Together, they're going to make Kf. Magnesium comes from group 2 and has a charge of +2. Oxide is O2-. Together they're going to make MgO. Remember, if you end up with something that has a different charge, for example, like magnesium fluoride, so we'll take 2 and put them together, it would be Mg + 2 and fluoride -1, making MgF2. Next, we're going to go from formulas to names. So instead of starting with a name, I'm going to start you with a formula. This is magnesium, which is in group 2, so it doesn't have any change in charge. It is not a transition metal, so I don't have to say what the charge is, because we're always going to know that it's +2. The second part is Br, which is bromine. But at the end, we always add IDE. So this would be magnesium bromide. So let's try a couple. So I have Al2O3 written in a little bit more of a clear way that you would see on a test would be like this, and AgCl2 would look like this. So give this one, the first one a try and the second one a try. And if I look, I have Al, which is aluminum, and oxygen, which is going to end up ending in IDE, or aluminum oxide. And now I have AgCl2. Ag, although commonly mistaken with gold, is actually silver. Silver always has a charge of +1, and then you have Cl, which is chlorine, so this is silver chloride. So that is how you name formulas with ionic compounds, with metals and nonmetals. So take-home message, if you have a compound with a metal and a nonmetal together, then you have an ionic compound. If it is in group 1, group 2, aluminum, zinc, or silver, all you have to do is write the name of the first element, followed by the name of the second element, and then change the ending to IDE. And that's it.